The founder of General Motors had a vision to build the best cars in the world. Today, the company he started is the largest U.S. auto manufacturer with a long history of innovation and setbacks. This is the incredible story of General Motors. Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video is about General Motors. Before we begin, please consider subscribing to stay up to date with our new videos. Also, be sure to stick around to hear some interesting facts about General Motors at the end of this video. In 1908, the Ford Motor Company introduced the first affordable car for the masses. The Model T changed the way people thought about owning a car. For the first time, it was practical for families to own an automobile instead of just being a luxury item for the rich. General Motors was quick to recognize the potential of the market and immediately began developing its own mass production system. By 1910, GM was producing one car every 24 minutes. But the company didn't stop there. They also focused on innovation and design, introducing many new features that improved the driving experience. In 1913, GM introduced the first V6 engine, which was more powerful and efficient than the four-cylinder engines that were available at the time. The engine was used in the 1914 Buick Model 10, which became known as the Nail. The nickname came from the fact that the car's styling was so conservative that it looked like it had been hammered into shape like a nail. Despite the criticism, the Buick Model 10 was a success, and GM continued to invest in engine research and development. By 1916, they had developed a new V8 engine that was even more powerful and smoother than the V6. This engine was used in the 1917 Cadillac Type 51, which was the first mass-produced car with a V8 engine. But it wasn't just about making bigger and more powerful engines. GM engineers were also working on ways to improve fuel efficiency. In 1917, they introduced the first overhead camshaft engine, which was lighter and more efficient than the traditional side camshaft engines. This engine was used in the 1918 Buick Model 21, which was the first car with an overhead camshaft engine. Despite these innovations, GM was still not satisfied. They wanted to create a car that was even more fuel efficient and environmentally friendly. So, in 1919, they began experimenting with electric cars. The first GM electric car was the 1921 Detroit Electric, which was powered by a 20-horsepower electric motor and had a range of up to 60 miles. It also featured regenerative braking, which was a new technology at the time. Unfortunately, the Detroit Electric was discontinued in 1925 due to the lack of charging infrastructure and the availability of cheap gasoline. But GM never lost sight of their goal to create a truly innovative car. And in 1936, they introduced the Futuramic, which was a concept car that featured a streamlined design and was powered by a new type of engine that GM was developing. The engine was lighter and more efficient than any other engine on the market, and it featured a unique cylinder head design that allowed for better air circulation and more efficient combustion. Unfortunately, World War II put an end to the development of the Freemac and the new engine. GM's resources were diverted to the war effort, and the automotive industry was put on hold. When the war was over, GM was eager to get back to work on developing new and innovative cars. In 1949, they introduced the Chevrolet Corvette, which was America's first sports car. The Corvette was an instant hit, and it established GM as a leader in the automotive industry. The company continued to innovate throughout the 1950s and 1960s, introducing new models and features that pushed the boundaries of what was possible in the automotive world. Unfortunately, the oil crisis of the 1970s had a significant impact on GM and the rest of the automotive industry. The price of oil skyrocketed and consumers began to look for more fuel-efficient options. GM responded by investing in smaller, more fuel-efficient cars, but they faced stiff competition from foreign automakers such as Toyota and Honda. Despite the challenges, GM continued to innovate and introduce new models such as the 1980s. The company also made significant investments in research and development, focusing on improving fuel efficiency and safety features. GM also made several acquisitions, including the Swedish carmaker Saab in 1989, but despite all these efforts, GM found itself in a precarious position in the late 1990s. The company was losing billions of dollars and it was on the brink of bankruptcy. In 2005, GM appointed a new CEO, Rick Wagoner, who took drastic measures to turn the company around. He cut costs, reduced the workforce, and closed several factories. These measures were painful but necessary if GM was to survive. However, these efforts were not enough to save the company from the Great Recession of 2008. GM's sales plummeted, and it was clear that the company needed help. In 2009, GM filed for bankruptcy, and the U.S. government stepped in to help. The government provided a $50 billion bailout to GM, which allowed the company to emerge from bankruptcy and continue operating. But the bailout came with strings attached. The government took a 60% stake in GM, and it appointed 2 of its own people to the board of directors. This gave the government a significant amount of control over GM and its direction. Despite the challenges, GM emerged from bankruptcy as a leaner, more efficient company. The company had already begun to turn things around before the bankruptcy, and the changes made during the bankruptcy only accelerated this turnaround. GM began to focus on its core competencies, and it divested itself of several non-core businesses. The company also made several acquisitions, including the Swedish carmaker Saab in 1989. GM has been on a journey to become a leading provider of sustainable transportation solutions. In recent years, the company has invested heavily in electric vehicles, autonomous driving technology, and ride-sharing services. GM has set an ambitious goal to become the leader in EV and autonomous vehicle technology by 2035. To achieve this goal, GM has been investing heavily in research and development, partnering with other companies and acquiring startups. GM has also been working hard to improve its manufacturing processes to make AVs more affordable and accessible to the mass market. The company has developed new battery cells that are more energy-dense and less expensive than current lithium-ion batteries. GM has also been investing in renewable energy sources to power its manufacturing plants and charging infrastructure. In addition to its investments in EVs, GM has also been making moves into the ride-sharing and ride-hailing markets. The company has developed a new ride-sharing platform called Maven, which allows people to rent cars by the hour or day. GM has also been testing autonomous taxi services in San Francisco and other cities. Despite these investments and innovations, GM faces stiff competition from other automakers, especially from Tesla, which has a dominant lead in the AV market. Tesla has also been investing heavily in autonomous driving technology and has already deployed its self-driving software in real-world conditions. Nevertheless, GM remains committed to its goal of becoming a leader in EV and e-vehicle technology. The company believes that the future of transportation is electric and autonomous, and it is positioning itself to take advantage of the opportunities in this rapidly evolving industry. General Motors has had a profound impact on American history. From the invention of the modern assembly line to the development of the first mass-produced electric car, GM has been at the forefront of innovation in the automotive industry. The company has also played a major role in shaping the American economy. GM has been one of the largest employers in the United States for decades, and its operations have helped to drive economic growth in many communities across the country. Despite the challenges it has faced over the years, GM continues to be a major player in the global automotive industry. With its commitment to innovation, sustainability, and job creation, GM is poised to continue its legacy of shaping the future of transportation for generations to come. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video about General Motors. If you did, please leave a thumbs up comment below to let us know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on our latest videos.